Yo, what's good? It's your boy Kid Maestro. Yeah. Bruh, those hold on. Let me let me pull these up. Cause I feel like y'all not in on the joke. Am I see low enough? Yeah. I feel like y'all aren't in on this joke. How y'all doing today? It's your boy Kid Maestro. We are at outer space in the Butterfly Galaxy. This is live from Butterfly. This is just me. I'm a producer, artist, engineer, and I'm here to talk about creativity and my journey in being a creative and trying to make things happen, or trying to flow with the way things should happen. Make dreams a reality. We talk about beats. We talk about performances, producer stuff, all that. And I got a few things I want to talk about. But today's stream is a little bit different because, man, I just got a lot of updates y'all on. I'm scatterbrained. Okay. Y'all here. So what you're listening to is Taj and Tapes Volume 15. Since Monday, I've been dropping the beat tape every single week. So today's the 15th week, and this is going to drop in a few minutes. I just got to finish up the artwork, and I'll be posting it in the Unapologetic World app. If you're watching this live, there's a link in the description to last week's beat tape, and I should be updating that after I finish and upload the new one to this week's. So yeah, we have an app. So I'm the president of a label called Unapologetic here in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm also a producer, artist here, and we have our own community called the Unapologetic World app, which is available for iOS and Android app stores. It is free DDBDBD. It don't take up a bunch of space on your phone, and So thank y'all for being here, or thank you for watching in the future. Just jumping into this live streaming game because I am on a journey of self-improvement in multiple ways, like particularly in having ideas and valuing them enough to let them come to life. That's in part why I've been dropping a beat tape every week, is because I realized that, as long as I've been doing music and making music, I still have been operating, a part of me has been operating out of fear, and I just am not gonna let that be the way I move, moving forward. So, even something like this, where it's like, before I would be like, why live stream? You don't have really anything interesting to say yet or whatever. But to me, it's that's the thing that keeps you from doing the things that I don't know. You get where I'm going. Like, you can't be successful being afraid. Always thinking, you got to get ready. You got to wait till you at a certain level to start doing things. One of my mottos this year is improvement happens on the next iteration. Like, you could work on something over and over again till you get it where you think it's good, right? But most of you all are creatives, and a lot of times, you guys know that usually doesn't happen. Sometimes it is what is necessary for an idea, to let it ruminate and work on it till it's what it's supposed to be. But oftentimes, what just ends up happening is you just have all this graveyard of projects that you're tweaking and working on. Meanwhile, if you need to get better, finish what you're doing and get better on the next version, right? And so that way, not only are you seeing the improvement you need, but now you got two things, right? You're further than you were. And that's how I'm moving right now. And so I'm just hopping into all of this stuff, all of these ways of communicating ideas and being creative and being vulnerable, being on Front Street behind my ideas, behind my creations, and deciding, that I may not be all I envision or all I know I'm capable of as a skill set or as an orator, or as a creative. But one, I've been doing this for like 10 years, so I'm not I'm not a beginner. And two, I'm not where I want to be at all. I feel very far behind, but I know that, like, I'm seeing improvement at a much faster rate than I ever was just in the past 4 months. It's been dope. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And so one of the things that I really wanted to improve on, let me particularly got to let's drop that down a little bit. One of the part of the things that I'm trying to improve on is being an artist, you know, and being an artist, performance is one of those things. Now I love the craft of live performance. I'm a playback engineer as well as, and I kind of got my start in the world of the stage, doing sound, like live sound engineering, and then I also did like show choir and like theater in high school, just all that kind of stuff. All of that wasn't my music, but as I started to, you know, make my own stuff, I started to like really get into like how to perform my own music. And this Saturday, I had a performance where I got asked. Okay, shout out to Bodywork. Bodywork is a crew of DJs: Ramsey, Bling with 2 G's, and Ross Al Ghul. All of them are from Memphis, but Ross be here in Memphis, but Bling and Ramsey, they're based out of New York now, and they do a lot of like kind of dance music, but mostly house. And so they were in Memphis. They threw a show at a spot called Inkwell, which I've DJ'd at. I'm also a DJ. I've DJ'd at a couple times, and both of those nights have been great. And my man Pro was hosting. Pro's an artist, a good friend of mine who just celebrated a birthday. So happy birthday, Pro. And he's on this label, Pro, as well, one of our artists. And he was hosting the event. And through that, they asked if I wanted to do a set, like an hour set. And I was like, man, for sure. I don't really get to rock, with artists and DJs like that usually. It's usually just me by myself. But I took this as an opportunity to, instead of DJing, to do a original music beat performance on the push in standalone. So if any of you guys have ever had to put together a set in Ableton, you know that on the front end, there's an incredible amount of like setup work. You got to bring in all the tracks, make sure they're warped and be gridded, and you just got to kind of set it up to how you want to work. And the ways to work are kind of infinite. Like you can set things up however you want. And so I'm a type of person that has very grand ideas from a technical standpoint. So like when I imagine things firing on all cylinders, there's all kinds of routing and just crazy stuff going on in the box. And then I wanted to do that without a computer because I got the push standalone now. And I'm really bought into the idea of screenless work. And yeah, and that's been working out on the production side a lot for me this past year. So all of this year so far. And so I wanted to take that same gen on the stage. And I've had some instances where like my laptop was too hot or, it just wasn't really working out. So this was a good opportunity. But whenever I perform by myself, typically like I'll throw in some beats of mine, but I'm mostly DJing stuff. An eclectic range of music for sure. Very interesting mixes. But at the end of the day, I know these are songs that are kind of battle tested. Like I know people are gonna mess with them. Somebody is gonna mess with them, even if it's not like pop music. Like it's still popular enough to where I know there's an audience for this. With my tracks, I don't know. Like I don't really be doing a lot of B sets like that, which I want to do, but it's not often. I'm just like people are just bumping my music, so I don't really know how it's gonna be received by strangers that don't even know me. So it was a risk, but I was like, man, I really want to do this. This is an opportunity to like actually set this up. And so there was two barriers to entry. There was my own insecurity, right? And then there was the amount of time and effort it would take for that initial setup to do this because I've never performed standalone, right? And it's been a long time since I performed all original stuff or that many original things. And so like getting everything in here and even figuring out how I wanted to do it just was a lot of work. And I knew it was going to take a lot of time. And it did take a lot of time. I was working all the way up to the last day, to Saturday, Saturday evening. And then I packed up and left and went to the venue. But I will say it was very fulfilling. As nervous as I was because I wasn't sure how people would receive what I was doing. I knew it was kind of different than like the house music that was going to be played for the rest of the night. But it was received really well. And I was super fulfilled and just grateful. And yeah, it just it helped a lot with my confidence. I did a lot of all the things that you do to, just hype yourself up and just to like realize that like, no, you're here for a reason. You're supposed to be doing this. There is an audience for you, and we just won't move in fear. And it really worked out, man. I had a great time. And so I'm actually going to be dropping some footage from it. I did record the set, but the video, I recorded like footage on my GoPro. The video itself, like the GoPro like breaks it up. Something in that breakup is like messing with the audio, so I might have to do some like stretching to make it work, or I'm gonna just drop it without the recorded audio, just use the camera audio. It'll be fine, but I'd like to sync that audio up if I can. So, but I plan to drop that today. This is my 15th week, and this was another barrier of me just like not playing it safe and really standing behind myself as an artist, standing on what I do. And it honestly, it was a milestone. And I've been like plotting and dreaming and working on setting up more shows for me in this coming year. And this was kind of like the first domino, and I couldn't be any more satisfied. Now I do have critiques. I don't think I did perfectly, and there was a lot of things that I would improve upon in this performance. Not the best work out there, but it was a job, and I'm very proud of it. And improvement will now happen on the next iteration, because what could have happened if I could have just been like, oh, I'm not ready. I didn't really get to set up everything I wanted, right? And then I just would have fell back and did what I'm used to doing and what I know would work. And then I wouldn't have had this opportunity. I would have just been ruminating on that same project. Yeah, that's not the move no more, y'all. We passed that. We passed brooding over stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just knock it out and get it done. So yeah, that was dope. Be looking out for some footage. I'm gonna definitely be dropping it on the app. And then I'll announce it here too. I'll make a post. And then it'll live here too as well. Okay, cool. Next thing coming up. So today I'm not gonna be cooking on the channel because I have a lot of stuff to do before 4 o'clock today. And right now it's 12:30. So I got a lot of stuff I need to knock out, because this week I will be preparing to perform at Coachella as a playback engineer for YG Marley, Miss Hill, and probably some of the Fugees. Shout out to my man Da Vinci and Alejandro, who held it down yesterday for this past weekend show, and I'm gonna be stepping in for this week's show, and I'm super excited. And rehearsals is gonna be a lot this week, and so I have a lot to prepare, and so it's just a lot of things that need to get done and knocked off the table today for me to be able to stay on track. But I wanted to update you guys on all of this stuff. What else? What else is going on? Yeah, in terms of Taj and tapes, one of the things that really set me up when I first got this push, before I even like made anything, I just spent days and days like choosing and downloading samples. I was pre-chopping stuff from my vinyl collection and setting it up. I was getting drums in order. I was recording stuff out of contact and other VSTs to like have sounds I like, recreating instruments. doing my own like sound design, just really setting myself up so when I start, I'm not trying to figure out like where I'm getting sounds from and be transferring stuff back and forth to the computer. No, I'm loaded up, ready to go, and that allowed me a momentum, and that has really helped me so far. And so now I'm getting near that time, and so I think I'm going to still drop Tajin tapes next week, but I've been trying to find this space where I feel like I really need to take a break to re-up on like sound and like kind of do what I did at the beginning again. Um, it's getting to be about 5 months, so and I'm just running out of samples now. A lot of my time when I'm scrolling through stuff, it used to be like like I would just hit something and it'd be like I hadn't used this, but now I'm like really like, oh, did I use this before? I'll load it up and like, oh yeah, I did use this, and I'm trying to find something else, and I'm kind of losing like ground there, and so it's just time to like do that side of the game again. But I'm conflicted because I have a momentum with dropping these, and I've kind of I put a lot of pressure on this project and my commitment to it that like I just don't want to not drop a beat tape, even if it's only a couple beats. I just don't want to not drop a beat tape for anything frivolous. Like I acknowledge that it might come a time where I won't be able to make the week, but I really don't want it to be for anything that I could have managed, right? And this would be my first time going out of town for a gig since I started doing these this year, and this is a challenge that I feel like I need to see how I navigate something like this. You know what I mean? Because I'm learning what's sustainable and what isn't. A lot of this probably is not sustainable. Just like there have been many nights where it's like, all right, beat tapes dropping tomorrow, 8 beats tonight, let's go, and I just did it. So and then had to like do some mixing right after that. Yeah, last night was kind of one of those nights because I was preparing for my show, and so it's a similar genre. I got 2 gigs. I'm doing also like a small little DJ gig for like a school dance. So yeah, just a lot of stuff that needs to happen. So yeah, so I just wanted to come on here because I also made a commitment to do these things, and while it's not at the same level as Tajin tapes, I definitely want to be consistent because I need to get better. And every time I'm not doing it, right, or I give myself an excuse, I'm not improving. So we in this junk. But yeah, Tajin tapes, volume 15. Congrats to me. You know what I'm saying? 15 weeks of consistency, 15 weeks of dropping music and putting it out in the world for all to hear and critique and criticize. Yeah. Also, speaking of Coachella, Grimes, man, I know some of y'all have heard how she kind of like train wrecked her whole jaunt, and yeah, shout out, because as much work and how as tough as it was to do all this preparation for my set, and the amount of preparation and work that goes into a Miss Hill show is ridiculous. But that's why, you know what I mean? Like, that is why, you know what I mean? And, I feel bad for her because, sometimes, like, just like her, and same thing with Miss Hill, we be working on stuff up to the last minute, and, and things happen on stage where, you know what I mean? But this is why preparation is so key. This is why I was like, no, but I'm going to take the time. This is why it was a sacrifice to take the time to prepare my personal set the way I did, because now you got to make sure all your beat grid's right, because when you're up there and it's wrong or your tempo's off and you're trying to do a mix, it's not fun, and it's tough. I mean, it's tough to adjust those things, but that's what professionals do on the fly. But like, those are the things that take you out your element, and when it's just happening constantly because preparation wasn't, because you failed to prepare properly, that's what happens. And then she's like making excuses on stage, and I just never want to be in that state. So I'm really, I don't know, kind of motivated and just hyped, because like that's kind of what I do to a fault. Like, I prepare like a mug, and I think about it to the almost it's just kind of overkill because like you be thinking and preparing so much that like it stifles you from actually doing the thing. Because there came a time where I had to be like, okay, I was trying to set up these things, but I had to like really have the maturity and the objectivity and the vision to be like, okay, I could stress and spend more time working on these things, but this whole system is new. Let me figure out what of this actually works, because you can think that what you're doing is going to work for you until you actually do it and you're like, I don't even need this, or this isn't enough for me, like I needed more control, or you know what I'm saying, like, it's too many knobs, too much stuff to be worried about. So yeah, I learned a lot from that too. Like, okay, this is version 1, let's just do this right and see what can be added on. And I just found out a lot about that stuff. So shout out to Grimes. I hope next weekend is better for you. And let this be a lesson to everybody who performs track-based music. Man, you got to prepare your tracks, and you gotta be willing to do that work yourself. And I know there's probably a lot of other things like visuals, and you know, it's also a lesson to hire and pay or employ or find competent people, right? People who aren't gonna skip steps. People who aren't gonna gonna pay attention to detail when it comes to stuff like this. So yeah, thank y'all for being here. I know I usually cook up on these joints, but I gotta dip out and get to it on some of this stuff. I do plan on cooking up for today, you know what I'm saying, just to stay on schedule. But yeah, this is my name is Kid Maestro again. This is live from Butterfly. You've been listening to Sergeant Tapes Volume 5, which is available in the Unapologetic World app. And man, thank y'all. Stay creative, stay godly. See y'all later.